We've talked about maybe similar things that we're about to right now. Marjorie Taylor Greene being talked about by some far-right people as a vice presidential candidate. And then also, she has been asked before, Speaker of the House, is that something you would want to do? And she's being kind of pumped up by Steve Bannon as the person who should be the Speaker of the House. Now, the reason I'm covering this is just think about how insane. Well, he's one of the most popular media figures on the right. He has this massive podcast. Tons of people love it. I recently went to CPAC and one of the guys told me, Steve Bannon is my guy. His podcast is where I go, baby. He didn't call me baby. That would have been weird. But Steve Bannon's pumping up Marjorie Taylor Greene as someone who should be Speaker of the House. That represents to me how off the freaking rocker our country is. That Marjorie Taylor Greene, when she ran for office, it was this joke candidate in the minds of most people, even a lot of moderate Republicans that I knew, that was so unhinged, so cartoonish, could never actually be a prominent leader. Now, she's being floated as someone who should be Speaker of the House. Again, she's being floated by the most wacky people, Steve Bannon and then Mike Lindell sitting next to her in the clip I'm about to show you. But still, our country is in a weird place, as this clip identifies.
Do we have a better Speaker of the House than MTG? Look at that.
That's amazing.
Courage. Are we going to need her as Speaker of the House to take it to the Democrats?
Yikes. 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 And then, of course, recently we heard, right-wing news channel floating her, with her. They asked her, would you want to be vice president? She said, well, Donald Trump asked me. I mean, I would give it some consideration. And the idea that there was a block of people in our country, a relatively large block of people, who looks at Marjorie Taylor Greene and says, that is what I want leading this country. I've talked to people on the ground about Marjorie Taylor Greene. And one of the interviews I did at the last CPAC conference I went to, I said, who were some standout speakers? Who did you really enjoy hearing from? And one of the people she cited was Marjorie Taylor Greene. I asked why. She said, she's smart, she tells the truth and all these things. And that's a moment where I just feel like, wait, I'm missing something. We must be living in two different worlds. Are we talking about the same Marjorie Taylor Greene? Because smart, honest are not the words that come to mind when I think of Marjorie Taylor Greene. And we're still talking about the lady who, believes that space lasers, Jewish space lasers started forest fires in California, right? We're still talking about the lady who still won't accept that Trump supporters stormed the Capitol on January 6th and thinks it's Antifa. That's the Marjorie Taylor Greene that we're all talking about, right? But it is. And those are the exact statements that many people on the right, on that far right part of our country, really resonate with. They really like the idea of living in a world where they can look at January 6th and simultaneously say the Trump supporters involved in that are being held as political prisoners and are being so wrongfully treated. And also, it wasn't Trump supporters who stormed the Capitol. And also, it was FBI agents who coerced Trump supporters into storming the Capitol. What? What are you talking about? You can't put all those statements together. But that is what she does, and that's what people resonate with. Because in that world, you don't have to think critically at all. All you have to do is in a moment when you see a set of situations or a set of facts within a situation, you can respond however you want. Because you can believe whatever you want. You can piece together puzzle pieces that don't fit together however you want and say that the puzzle is completed. The logical puzzle is completed, even when it looks nothing like the picture on the box, to continue with that metaphor. And wow, that's a good metaphor. Holy smokes. Wow, I like that. Anyways, so Marjorie Taylor Greene, like Trump, is really effective at just completely unapologetically saying statements that are not connected to reality as if it was the most factual thing they've ever heard in their life. Because with so many people and so many politicians, you'll see in their eyes, and when they start trying to explain something and they're kind of weaseling around a fact that's inconvenient, they try to keep it somewhat tethered to reality. Otherwise, they feel that they could be called called out. And in the process, they come off kind of not sure in themselves and really slimy and avoiding the question. But whenever you look straight at the camera and you're like, yeah, boom, it was Antifa who stormed the Capitol, but also the Trump supporters are being persecuted for storming the Capitol, but also the FBI coerced Trump supporters to storm the Capitol, but also it was only FBI agents who stormed the Capitol, but also it was only Antifa, and on we go. But you say it as confident as anything. You don't look like you're avoiding the question. You don't look like you're slimy, and people love that. They loved it about Trump. Every single statement Trump made, he said as if it was the most sure thing in the world. Maybe we look into putting bleach in the body. Many people are saying it's an option. You are in the perfect place if you want to believe whatever you want to believe, and it doesn't matter if reality is true. All you need is someone to confidently tell you the things you want to believe, and boom, you're good to go. And Marjorie Taylor Greene does that better than anyone, and that is why she's such a rising star in the Republican Party, which Republicans who don't like her, get your act together, because dang, they're taking over your party, or they've taken over your party, and I don't know what you're going to do politically. Moderate Republicans who are kind of Mitt Romney type people, or Reagan type people, if you want to go that far back, you got to figure something out, because your party is a Trump, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Ron DeSantis party. And if you think the Democrats are real bad, I don't know where you fit in. I really don't. And so Bannon is showing that better than anyone by promoting Marjorie Taylor Greene as Speaker of the House. God forbid. And this is why voting in the midterms is so important. This is why, even though the Democratic Party has so many flaws, even though they don't follow through on a lot of their promises, even though there's so much more they should be doing, it would be absolutely amazing if we could keep them in power in 2022. To be clear, I'm not someone who's just saying, the only message should be because Republicans are bad. No, I also think that, and the Inflation Reduction Act was great, American Rescue Plan, the infrastructure deal, some of the other just kind of rapid fire, the PAC Act, the CHIP Act, or Chip and Science Act. I do think it looks like Biden's about to excuse or relieve $10,000 of student debt for borrowers under, I think, $125,000 personal income, or $250,000 if you're in a couple household income. So a lot of those things are really good. So it's that balance of Republicans are bad and Joe Biden and the Democrats have done some good things, some really good things, and they haven't followed through on everything. And that's something we got to keep pushing them on, but it doesn't take away from the fact that we really don't want Republicans to get in power, because what if there's a situation where Marjorie Taylor Greene was Speaker of the House? That is a massively powerful and influential position, and that would be so devastating.